Philip Hammond was condemned today for claiming the UK's grim productivity figures were caused by more disabled people joining the workforce. The Chancellor made the jibe during evidence to MPs and was immediately branded appalling and ignorant. Disability charities today piled pressure on the Chancellor to apologise for his remarks. British workers' productivity, the value of work done by each worker, has been in the doldrums since the financial crisis and prompted huge downgrades to growth forecasts at last month's budget. Philip Hammond was condemned today for claiming the UK's grim productivity figures were caused by more disabled people joining the workforce. Mr. Hammond was challenged on why productivity was stubbornly low during an evidence session at the Treasury Select Committee yesterday. He said, "The consequences of high levels of unemployment, particularly youth unemployment, will be felt for many, many years to come." The Chancellor then added, "It is almost certainly the case that by increasing participation in the workforce, including far higher levels of participation by marginal groups and very high levels of engagement in the workforce, for example of disabled people, something we should be extremely proud of, may have had an impact on overall productivity measurements." Select Committee member John Mann said the Chancellor's comments were appalling and ignorant. He said, "My experience of employing disabled people is that they are brilliant employees." Fellow member Alison McGovern took to Twitter to say she was pretty shocked actually, while Labour frontbencher Marsha D. Cordova branded his gaffe disgusting scapegoating. Just last week ministers announced plans to get 1 million more disabled people into employment over the next decade. There are 7 million people of working age in the UK who have a disability or health condition, but only 47.6% of disabled people have a job, compared with 79.2% of non-disabled people, the latest figures show. According to the Office for National Statistics, productivity per hour fell by 0.1% between March and June this year, despite people working more hours. Labour MP John Mann took to Twitter to brand the remarks appalling during the Treasury Committee sitting. Mr. Mann's colleague Alison McGovern admitted she was pretty shocked at the claims made during the Treasury Select Committee hearing yesterday. In a separate gaffe last month, Mr. Hammond said there were no unemployed people in the UK despite there being some 1.4 million out of work. Anna Bird, the Director of Policy and Research at Scope, said, "These comments are totally unacceptable and derogatory. They fundamentally undermine the government's policy to get more disabled people into work, and the ambition set out by the Prime Minister just a week ago." She added, "The Chancellor must urgently withdraw them and offer a full apology." Genevieve Edwards, Director of External Affairs at the Ms. Society, said, "The Chancellor must apologise to disabled people. His comments show ignorance about the contributions they make."